Hello, welcome to Amina's Moment. I'm so glad that you were able to tune in on this particular day. I'm really excited about the likes that we've had on Facebook, as well as our new followers on Twitter. And so at some point, I think I need to kind of give some shout outs and thank yous, especially to those on Twitter, because there are definitely some new people that we have not met yet, but we've been communicating. And so social media can be a really good thing if you use it the right way. And so I just want to thank you again for tuning in and to let you know that I'm not here to give you advice, but I'm hoping that I can say something to you that will encourage you, that will uplift you, and get you to the place where you really desire to be. So I'm hoping that this particular topic is going to be something you can take along with you and you can use and even share with other people. So let's go ahead and get started. Tonight's topic is actually sacrifice for a reward. And I thought about that and I said to myself, what in the world am I willing to sacrifice in order to get something? And that was a process of thought that took a little bit of time. It wasn't something that I just thought of all of a sudden and it's like, oh, now I'm willing to sacrifice this or I'm willing to not do this in order to get that. And so when I was actually writing this particular, the material for this video, I'm just going to just show you something. So this is what I really have. And I think I wrote this, it might have been like about 5 in the morning, maybe about 5:15. And I just wanted to show you that sometimes I have stuff written down and I don't get a chance to say it all, but I'm hoping that as time goes on and various opportunities are presented, I can get this in the way that it was really written in another form. So just wanted to throw that out there to you. But okay, let's go ahead and get started. And I want to ask you a question. What are you willing to give in order to receive? And I ask that question because it really it takes on a different view when you think about what is it that you're willing to sacrifice, what is it that you're willing to give, what is it that you're willing to say no to, who are you willing to say no to in order to get a yes to something or even in order to get a reward for something. And I get that as young people, it may be very difficult in order to get to that point where you say, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going there. I'm not going to be with this person. Whatever it is, I'm making a decision that what I decide tonight or what I decide tomorrow or the next day or just decisions in life in general, this is going to prepare me for tomorrow. And I like being a little transparent. I'm a little hesitant sometimes, only because I don't want to give off the wrong impression. And I'm hoping that every story that I share, even about myself, it's something that you can take for face value and not really read anything else into it, because I'm just giving you the raw truth. I mean, there's nothing else to give. So anyway, let me just tell you this story really quick. And I do have a story about another young man that I had met. But I remember being in college and in the beginning, and I don't know if you guys have seen the first video that Amina's Moment, when we first started, I shared how I was basically on probation. And so I thought that every young man that was walking on campus, okay, maybe not every one of them, but you know, there were quite a few of them that were like, oh my gosh, oh, he's cute. Oh, he looks really good. Oh, look at the car that he drives. Didn't even know if it was his or not, but that wasn't the point. And so I got to that point where I wasn't focused. And I said to myself, after my mother gave me an ultimatum, stating that if I did not get a bachelor's degree, that I had to find somewhere else to live. I thought that was insane. However, let's move on. But I had the opportunity to sit back after being on probation for 3 semesters. And they were saying that if in fact you don't do well next semester, you're gone. So I'm like, okay, I have to make a decision. I'm either going to sacrifice my social time. I'm either going to sacrifice actually, and it's not that I even really went out a lot, because it wasn't that, but it was just the time I would spend on the phone. I mean, you know, a lot of things was just a little different, because I was looking at school as being maybe like right in this area, and then my friends and those that I socialized with, they were like all the way up here. So I had to make a decision. I had to say, what am I willing to give in order to get? It took me, and I promise I did it. It took me taking the time, and at the time we didn't have like the touch screen cell phones. We had to go through and delete some numbers, because I knew that if I had access, that I was going to call or whatever it was. And that was not the way to go. I had to figure out, what am I willing to give in order to get this degree? That meant I had to turn the TV off. I had to, it wasn't much of the internet, but it, you know, some of, you know, doing the web surfing and things like that, had to stop that. Had some games online that I like to play. I guess I'm not old, please know that, but there were a couple of things, a couple video games I had at the time. I had my Sega Genesis at the time. I had my Super Nintendo. I know, you know, maybe some of you watching, you all can go back to Atari and probably ancient days, but I can't go back that far. And so with that being said, I had to say, what am I willing to give, again, to get my degree? And so that was very difficult for me to decide, because I felt like if I give up something, now I'm losing out on something. But little did I know then, as I know now, the sacrifices that I made back then, they don't even compare to the reward that I have now. And I'm really, really grateful that I had the opportunity to make those sacrifices back then. And I'm going to do my best to keep a straight face. But when I think about how it could have been that if I had not made those sacrifices, I wouldn't have a career today. I wouldn't be able to say that I do the thing that I love in education. I just wouldn't be able to do it. And so when I look at those sacrifices, yeah, there were some days that it was difficult. But I tell you one thing, I would not change one thing about it after I woke up, after I realized the thing that I needed to do. And so I just wanted to share that with you. That touches me, I would say, deeply, because I'm like, wow, I didn't have to get to that point, but I'm so grateful that I did. So I'm done talking about me, and I'm so glad I didn't shed a tear. So let's keep going. I recognize, and after having a conversation with a young man, I can't say his name because I didn't ask for permission to use his name in the video, but we were having a discussion about how it's been being in college. And one of the things that he shared with me was that there were times last semester that he found himself torn, and he wanted to do things with his friends, but then he knew he had to study. And unfortunately, he recognized after the fact, I should have made some better decisions, meaning that he should have made some sacrifices with his friends, made some sacrifices, and actually said no to things in order to dedicate that time to study and to do those things that are going to prepare him for his future. And so I'm hoping that one of you, if you are an adult, if you can get maybe your teenager to watch this video, if you are a teenager, if you can get your friends to watch it, if you are a young adult, if you are an old adult, if you are an ancient adult, whatever your age range is, if you can really think about, what am I willing to give in order to get a reward? I believe that will put you on a track where now you're working towards something. And again, I have said this in many videos, I believe that we all have something great on the inside of us. And if we take the time to cultivate that and really mold it and make it into something, we can really do something great with our lives. It doesn't have to stop here. So please remember, that sacrifice that you're dealing with now, or that you've decided to take, again, there is a reward behind it. So I want to encourage you, look at your life, see where you are, see what you can give up in order to have a better tomorrow. Because I believe if you do it, you will be successful. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to Amina's Moment. I'm hoping you guys will be able to retweet this video and post it on your Facebook page, whatever it is, because I'm looking for great things. And I know you're doing the same thing. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you next time.